Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I posted my last video. Let's just say that life got a bit hectic, so I apologize for not being consistent, and I'm hoping 2021 will be a different year where I will be posting videos regularly. But today is not about 2021, it is, as the title suggests, is about my favorite reads from the year that just went by, 2020. Not all these books are exactly 5-star reviews. I picked the books that had an impact on me in one way or the other, and you can find a review of all these books in my blog bookworld.com. I will leave the link below in the description box in case you are interested. You can check it out. More than the rating, this is about the books that I have a fond memory of when I look back into the last year. So the first book is The How and the Why by Cynthia Han. This is my first Cynthia Han book. This is about a girl named Cassandra Cass. So Cass is an adopted child and her parents love her, but she is at that point of her life where she wants to know more about her birth mother. So we have two timelines. One is Cass, where she is turning 18 and is facing a difficult situation in life, and the other is Cass's birth mother, whose name is not revealed. Let's just call her S. So S is writing a series of letters to her unborn daughter since she is giving her up for adoption, and the whole story is about why S is making the choices that she is making and how or if all this finds its way to Cass. So I enjoyed this book. It was emotional at times, but there were also some fun moments, and overall it was a great mix. I rated it a 5 out of 5. The next book is The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. This is a women's fiction romance novel. It is a hate to love romance. We follow Carolina Santos, who is a wedding planner and ironically a jilted bride as well. So her fiancé leaves her at the altar, and it is all because of some stuff that his brother, who is also the best man, told him. So Lena has every reason to hate her ex's brother Max. Years later, Lena is eyeing this job as a wedding planner for this big hotel chain. And guess who is the marketing executive? Max. So Lena and Max both have to work together if they want to get their prize. For Lena, it is this job, fancy job, and for Max, it is more about coming out of the shadow of his brother. This is a fun escape read, and at the same time it talks about second-generation immigrants and their struggles. So overall, I enjoyed this book and rated it a 5 out of 5. The next book is Followers by Megan Angelo. This is a futuristic dystopian fiction. So the story is set in two timelines, one in 2015 and the other in 2050. We follow the two main characters, Marlo and Orla. The book has a whole Black Mirror-ish vibe. It is mainly about the relationship and dynamics between these three women, Marlo, Orla and Floss, and how their lives are interconnected. The book mainly makes a point on the influencer culture and how it affects the world that we live in today. So it was an intense read. I enjoyed it a lot and rated it a 5. I read this book in last February or March, before everything actually went down. But I think in the current days, this book is more relevant than ever. The next book is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I don't think I need to say anything more about this book. This is, of course, the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and I can't tell you how much this book affected me. I mean, it resonated with me on a visceral level because of the topic that it deals with, which is obviously feminism and the way women are taken advantage of in that dystopian world. It really hits hard because, as the author claims, none of the instances in the book Handmaid's Tale was purely fiction, because at least some instance of that existed in real life, and that makes it more dark. So the story picks up where June's story ended in the first book and how things went on from there. but it is not necessarily in a linear order, and I can see this becoming a classic years later, just like the first book. So I rated it a 5 out of 5. So the fifth book in my list is Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. This is a sequel to The Simple Wild. I read Simple Wild in 2019 and loved it, so I was waiting for this one. The book basically focuses on the relationship between Jonah and Kala, and it is about what happens after the happily ever after. So I really love that they went there and the way they portrayed the challenges that a relationship like theirs could face. So again, it is a 5 out of 5 from me. And the next book is This Won't End Well by Camille Pagan. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct. So we follow Annie, who decides to stay away from people after she loses her career and relationship. Despite her decision, Annie cannot avoid letting new people into her life, and she finds herself in some really interesting situations. So this is a contemporary women's chick-lit kind of book. It gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling. It talks about personal growth and hope and about the choices we make, the kind of people we surround ourselves with. I enjoyed this book. It had a great character arc and depth to it. That's what I loved about it, and I rated it a 4 out of 5. So the next book is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This book is actually coming out in 2021, but I read this in December for the Right Reads blog tour. So this is a fun middle grade fantasy read. It is, about this magical school. I can't say more about the book. Basically, Amari is in search of her lost brother, and everything she does is to find her brother, because they have a great relationship and she misses him. So she wants to find her brother. That's all I can tell about this book. I enjoyed it. It is a spirited story and I loved it. I rated it a 4 out of 5. The next book on my list is Want to Watch by Kate Stayman London. This book follows B. Schumacher, who is a fashion blogger and a plus-sized woman. I think out of all the books in the list, this is the only book that features a plus-sized woman. So I am a plus-sized woman, so naturally I relate to this main character a lot. So things happen and she ends up being the star of this reality TV show Main Squeeze, which is quite similar to The Bachelor, I'm told. I've never seen The Bachelor, but the book was still fun to read. It deals with all the aspects of reality TV, the narrative, and how B deals with the men in her life and the relationship dynamics, things like that. So I enjoyed it and rated it a 4 out of 5. So the next book is The Ship of Shadows by Maria Kuzniar. It is another middle grade fantasy that I read last year and I loved it. So, there is nothing more that I can say about this as well, because it kind of breaks the mystery of the book. But it has a pirate ship which is mysteriously magical, and it is also filled with badass all-female pirate crew. So if that is not motivation enough, there is cake in this book. So you will know if you read this book. It is fantastic. It takes me back to the days of, the famous 5, those kind of books. It gives you that kind of vibe. I loved it, rated it a 5 out of 5. So the last book in my list is, of course, a romance read. This is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. So this is the second book in the series, The Brown Sisters, I believe. The first one being Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which again I loved. Take a Hint, Danny Brown is a fake dating romance, and it has friends to romance both combined in one package. And it is as fun as it sounds. So I love the chemistry between the main characters, Danica and Zafir. But there is more depth to these characters. It talks about things like mental health, and I like the way it was handled in the book. So overall, I rated this one a 5 out of 5 as well. So those are all the books that made my top 10 reads of 2020. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books. If so, what are your thoughts? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.